Hello, I gave up smoking in November 2009, and by telling you my story, I hope to inspire you as a smoker, or even if you don't smoke, this may help you understand the emotions giving up smoking generates. I had smoked for 37 years. 37 years. That's 2/3 of my life. It sounds awful when you think of it like that. I had tried to give up a few times, each time for the wrong reason. My husband encouraged me with every incentive he could. Holidays, clothes, money, you know what I mean. My doctor said it would be better for my health. But each time I failed. Why? Because I didn't want to stop smoking. I read a book on the psychology of smoking. A few comments stayed with me. We all say the first cigarette of the day is the worst one to give up. Actually, if we gave up the first one, we'd have succeeded in stopping, wouldn't we? Brilliant. I also realised that smoking was a habit, but it was the nicotine that was my addiction. So two things to sort out. Making smoking a far less acceptable social activity probably helped me make the decision to stop. Even at home, I went outside to smoke, or in the kitchen with the extractor on, always on my own. So what was I doing? It was time to give up, and I wanted to. Finally, I was doing this because I wanted to. I knew I would need help with the nicotine addiction, so I looked at all the aids out there and decided patches were right for me. The habit, well, I've given up lots of things during my life. Sugar in hot drinks at the age of 17, chocolate when my clothes feel too tight, so I would treat the habit of smoking in the same way. I bought a week's supply of patches, so it was just a matter of deciding when to stop. Bearing in mind this was November, I could so easily have said I'll leave it until after Christmas. But I didn't, because I actually wanted to stop, and the sooner the better. I didn't tell a soul, absolutely nobody. I didn't want any pressure. I had failed in the past and disappointed people around me. I didn't want to do that again. I decided it would be tomorrow. Of course, I woke up and didn't want to get up. That first cigarette scenario again. So I gave myself a mental talking to. Come on, it's you that wants to do this. Have your breakfast as usual, which I did. And yes, I lit a cigarette and took a couple of puffs, put it out and went for a shower. Stuck a patch on my arm and that was it. I never smoked a cigarette again. During that day, I avoided having a coffee in the kitchen, and it was too cold to go outside. Instead, I sat in the lounge on the settee, and honestly, it was lovely. I enjoyed my coffee. As the day progressed, I started to trust the patch. I didn't feel the need to smoke at all. It was brilliant. The first night I wore the patch to go to bed, but I didn't sleep well at all. My mind wouldn't switch off. So the second night I removed the patch carefully and put it discreetly on my bedside table. Remember, I hadn't told anybody, which included my husband. He actually didn't realise for a whole month I'd stopped smoking, and then it was only he felt the patch on my arm. He's never lived it down. No, so going back to the patch on my bedside table, I knew I would need that as soon as I awoke to see me through the breakfast period again. And it did. Brilliant. I had my shower, applied a new patch, and I got on with my life. Every day it got easier. I took my cigarettes and lighter with me whenever I went out. Remember, I was under no pressure. This was my decision, and I really was pleased with myself. every day it got easier and easier. I always had my coffee in the lounge and I looked forward to that part of my day. I never would have believed it. I reduced the strength of patches as directed. In fact, I cut them in half, which saved me money as well. During the 9th week, I wanted to try a day without a patch on at all. So I did. It was probably psychological, but I was aware I didn't have one on for the first couple of hours. But then I completely forgot and got on with the day. Another success. I stopped taking my cigarettes and lighter with me everywhere I went. Instead, I did keep a patch in my bag or in my pocket for a few weeks, just in case. But I never used it, never. At 6 months, I gave my cigarettes and lighter away. At the age of 51, I had succeeded in giving up smoking. The best thing I've ever done. 3 years on, I very rarely think about smoking. I am healthier, my doctor was right, and I now don't moan when my husband wants to walk up a hill. In fact, sometimes I get to the top first. At a Christmas party this year, I heard a young lady telling us all she had promised her daughter she would stop smoking on New Year's Day. I hope she has, but I couldn't help feeling she was putting herself under pressure. My success came from wanting to stop myself, and I hope you will too. Good luck. Goodbye.